With Isagi improving his physical performance, having a better understanding of his own body's capabilities by not only improving in ball handling, but also in the stature department, making him more fit for intense levels of activeness in professional games. Safe to say his benefit of joining Manshine City has already shown tremendous results. But now with the game against Munich not even being halfway done and Isagi taking a keen interest in Kaiser's own way of playing, could we be seeing a similar Isagi from the original when unlocking Metavision fully, or will this now enhanced physically equipped main character become a new beast entirely? Well, join me as I go through part 2 of what if Isagi joined Manshine City in the NEL. Before watching this video, be sure to show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel, as it helps me know whether or not you want to see part 3 of this series. Also, be sure to join my BLUELOCK Discord with the link left down below, and become a channel member to unlock exclusive perks including sneak peeks for a possible part 3 of this series. Wink wink. Isagi standing distant from Kaiser at first was gathering the intel of all of the factors that made up Kaiser's movements which allowed him to get that goal. His formula was refined to a higher end of the U20 category, and now with a model of an ideal playstyle to refer to and reach to, Isagi of course, like the original, understands Metavision. Kaiser's taunts fall flat as Isagi was now driven by a new theory, a new element which makes up his own football, and Agi, now paying closer attention to Isagi, actually gets intrigued at the shift of Isagi's presence. And with the kickoff ball on Manshine's side and no need to expect the unexpected, Isagi can foresee many of the reasonable pathways, not worrying about any of his teammates set to sabotage him. Isagi quickly makes a runner up the pitch looking to Agi for an opportunity at his vision, but as of right now, Agi still wants to help Nagi take his next steps. The baby chick on the field still has his attention from the doctor, and Isagi knows currently that that path can only lead to unsatisfactory results. Agi makes a pass to Nagi where the play once again starts with him making a dribble upfield, using traps and feints to break past both Ness and Yukimiya. A pass back to Agi and the pair were closing in on the goal. Agi makes a diversion pass to Ryo, stopping Munich players in their tracks as the speed of the game slowed down for a second as Ryo played ball keeper. Isagi is growing in frustration. The attention is on him by all the wrong people, and he knows how much of a struggle it is to shift the team's favour to his territory. Nagi's talent was being coddled, and he had to wait for an opportunity to strike. Ryo makes a long pass upfield similar to size in the U20 match, and just like that, Agi and Nagi are on the front lines. Agi retrieves the ball with a chest takedown and then lightly chips it to the shooting area right in front of Nagi. A hand was placed on his shoulder before Nagi can shoot, but our lazy genius finds an idea in scoring in this situation. Lowering his body position and putting a hand on the field, he spins and hits a breakdance volley. However, it gets blocked by our dark horse Kunigami, but he couldn't retrieve it afterwards because Agi was ready to take up Nagi's failed attempt. Agi seemed disappointed that Nagi didn't take into consideration how risky that shot path was, as during the situation when he was looking away gave Kunigami the opportunity to get into his shot path without him noticing. Just when he seeked to rebuild the opportunity for Nagi once again, however, Isagi was in the prime spot further to the right of the penalty area than Nagi was. Agi gives a smile, interested to see what Isagi's method of dealing with his current situation is, so he makes a quick pass over to him with enough height to best fit Isagi's shooting weapon. Isagi thanks Agi for the opportunity, and just when he was about to showcase his direct shot, Kaiser interferes and pushes Isagi off balance. Steady there, Yoichi. Your direct shot relies on your core balance, which means if I mess up your stance and you trap the ball, your talent dies. Look, Yoichi, your climax is getting ruined by me. Quit getting stuck in the past, Kaiser, with what I trained for and what you showed me. Witness the reveal of my reborn direct shot! Isagi, with a roar of triumph, celebrates his first goal in the NEL from using his lefty direct shot. A lot of you did question how Isagi would even develop his lefty direct shot. Well, for one, I intentionally made the decision that Isagi becomes proficient in both legs, making him once again a developed ambidextrous player. And for two, the likes of Chris Prince and Agi's presence would likely notice the biggest flaw in Isagi's shooting weapon earlier than Isagi would. Think about it. Physicality is what's needed to overcome this barrier, and if Isagi's physicality physicality improved drastically from being on a team that specializes in making the best personal physique to accomplish their ideals, it's a no-brainer that this would happen, coming from Isagi's original mindset when choosing Manshine over Munich in this scenario. Chris Prince would definitely notice the flaw in Isagi's direct shot with a reference from the U20 game. With what Sai did to Isagi, it is moment to use his direct shot. Not to mention, Chris takes making training regimens very seriously, and his overall development related IQ is outstanding as he was able to provide both Ryo and Chigiri the physiques to accomplish their ideals, and even more so with Chigiri as he gained a whole new golden formula for scoring consistent goals. Basically, Chris Prince is the best master, period. Isagi didn't need to realize why or how his direct shot has an abundantly clear weakness if Chris Prince was able to provide him an answer and the training he needs to do to compensate for that downside. Back to the story though, Isagi achieved his first goal in the first match in this scenario. His metavision included the likelihood of Kaiser coming in to interfere with his goal, so he needed to be in a position close enough to score with either of his direct shots, which is of course because Isagi's lefty direct shot is a weaker powered shot by comparison to his dominant leg. Kaiser was stunned, Nagi was stunned, Agi was stunned. Everyone on the pitch was absolutely flabbergasted at this display of an unpredictable result. The only player who wasn't bewildered, however, was Chris Prince, sitting to the side smirking with absolute glee, and his pent-up excitement was ready to release as he announced that he was subbing into the pitch for the Star Exchange. Of course, Noah responds in kind to annoyingly match his rival's decision, but before the next kickoff could commence, Chris Prince steps forward to his pupil Yoichi Isagi, congratulating him on his goal, displaying how proud he was in Isagi in achieving his ideal. However, Isagi responds saying that he has a new ideal, and that ideal was to take over the team and become the ace of Manshine City in the NAL. And then he looks to Agi to further say how he will make him see the value he has over Nagi. Agi gets the shivers at this new exciting information regarding Isagi and what else he could do to possibly work with Isagi to improve his newest performance. Whilst we don't know whether or not Agi has metavision or not, he encaptures the body of a genius with the mind of a talented learner, which is a mindset in which he tried to instill in Nagi by making him think more actively to explore new ways to grow, since otherwise he will continuously hit a cap in his potential. But with Isagi, he is already a talented learner and is showing better results from being noticed less by comparison to Nagi's monitoring. Agi states how he still wishes to help Nagi develop, but he equally has an interest in seeing what Isagi can do to grow further, so he will provide pointers to him as well as feed him the data his kind of mind would find useful. Agi would definitely have an interest in Isagi, by the way, with how Agi reacted to Isagi's improvement in movement and how he became the Eye of the Hurricane in the original story. So of course this interest would be no different here. However, off to the side was a Nagi who seemed undeniably worried. His own personal mentor was now aligning closer to his rival and he still didn't have the slightest clue in how to make his activeness shine through. How can he turn his pain into a more desirable result? He looked to Ryo thinking what might be if he just reverted back to relying on him, but if Isagi was growing so fast in a way that Nagi could if he adopts this new mindset, then he needs to try harder. Isagi is becoming even more of a pain, and that pain can only lead him to what makes him grow, as Agi said. The match continues with the score at 2-1 for Manshine, but now Kaiser and Noah once again have the chance to link up like in the first NEL game. Considering Isagi was no longer on Bastard Munich, Kaiser irrefutably was the most logical player in Noah's eyes to link up with, especially considering his previous goal success. So he does so, and it was to the dismay of Yukime's ever-growing jealousy. Envy and spite to Kaiser's reign of tyranny as Munich's golden boy, Isagi's ever-growing importance, and his own hubris at thinking a team like Munich was his answer to develop. But there's not a what if to help him now. He needs to work with what he's got and refuses to be left in the dust. Isagi is making strides to intercept the pass from Kaiser's trades with Noah upfield, and while Chris and Agi are limiting Noah's options, Kaiser still has Ness and Kurina, which with the added presence of a master, they become even more coordinated. Isagi foresees, however, from absorbing the field of play, the meta point weakness to interrupt Kaiser's next interaction with the ball, which can disrupt their push upfield. Isagi is not too far from it, but all of a sudden, Yukimeya passes by him. Yukimeya used Isagi's field of vision to scope out the best place to get the ball in this environment, and Isagi, being slower than Yukimeya still, can't stop Yukimeya from quite literally blindly charging ahead. His trust in Isagi's metavision paid off as Yukimeya perfectly intercepted the ball to Kaiser whilst outside the gold box, to the surprise of everyone including Kaiser and Noah especially, and all that was left for him to deal with was Reo, who knew how Yukime's weapon works from his copies. However, with Yuki also having to deal with multiple other gathering Manshine defenders now, he needed to act as quickly as possible. His dribbling style was fast enough to bypass the no-names, and when it came to Reo, he did a feint for his first shot and then took a gyro shot on his second attempt as Reo attempted to block it. Shut up everyone. This world doesn't revolve around any of you. God only gives you trials you can overcome. The gyro ball is sent up into the air and dips dramatically when hitting the peak of its height. And with no one to interject in time, Yukimeya scores his solo charge. What an incredible goal to tie up the game 2-2. But with this goal comes a sense of discomfort. It cuts to Ego solemnly gazing upon the current state of the game's field, recognizing that was a goal he wasn't meant to pull off. But due to the new irreversible changes and set circumstances, Yukimeya has fallen victim to an achievement beyond his given talent, which can only henceforth bring the danger of ruination. Chris Prince, of course, being held back by Noah, could not reach the ball in time, and he realized what that would mean for Yukimeya's growth going forward, and Noah acknowledges this aspect too, but refuses to bring it up, knowing Yukimeya only dug his own grave to try and catch up with the other protagonists of the world. Isagi realized through what Yukimeya had said during that goal, however, the aspect of the world not revolving around them means that he has the same sense of self-worth outweighing the likes of better players. He wanted to understand more from that perspective, but really didn't have much else to go off of, as he decided to keep it in the back of his mind for the time being. The Masters still had 1 minute left to provide a fighting chance for their team. Isagi was understanding the game's casting and direction of the match more and more with his eyes, and Nagi, amongst the motivated crowd, seemed to have a quiet fire burning brightly within him. He wanted to score. He wanted to win. He wanted to beat Isagi Yoichi. But now more than ever, his actual ideal was recognized. He wanted to understand what it truly meant to be active and deal with pain, to grow like Isagi does in order for him to become the protagonist of the world. That's where we shall end off part 2 of this series. If you did enjoy this part of the series and want to see more, once again be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. More support means that part 3 will come out sooner rather than later, so there's literally no reason for you not to do so if you enjoyed the video. What do you think will happen next time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time, peace.